Good morning and welcome to the show.
Today is Wealth Wednesdays. And over the next couple of Wednesdays, we will be going over the Wealth Creation series. Who wants to be wealthy? Drop it in the comments.
What does it mean to be wealthy?
Ooh, that's a great question, Erin. That is a very good question.
I believe we've looked up this definition before, but we're going to do it again for the sake of today's episode. Wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. It does not have to be money, but this conversation is about money. And so the wealth is an abundance. It's an abundance. Guess what? You can be wealthy in your mind before you're wealthy in your bank account. And if you're not wealthy in your mind, you will struggle to be wealthy in your bank account.
Absolutely. It all starts in your mind first. And this is why talking about money is like, and the way we teach weight loss is just, it's the parallel, like it's all in parallel. Let's say you want to lose weight. You're going to act as if, and you're going to think it continuously. Of course, easier said than done, before you actually get there. You want to have a six-pack, and right now, like, you know, you got like 20 pounds to shed, let's say, about that. It's not just going to fall on your lap. It's something that you have to create. Okay, so the same thing with wealth.
Doesn't just fall into your lap?
No.
Can't shake the money tree?
Unfortunately, money does not grow on trees. But there is an abundance of money, and there's no shortage of money. It's up to you to attract it. Just like it's up to you to attract your perfect body. Now, you can't just think it and expect it to fall on your lap either. Like, we're not being woo-woo when we say that. Like, you gotta think it. You have to believe it. You have to commit to it on a regular basis. And you have to show up in order to create it for yourself. Okay, so
amazing.
Today we're going to be talking about steps 1 and 2. So, but before we get to that, on the concept of wealth, an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Who in here said that they want to be wealthy? I think I saw Rachel Moore.
You passed a bunch.
Michelle. That's it.
Are you going down? You passed a bunch. What do you mean?
Yeah, they're saying it's
Danita.
Oh, Danita.
Kristen St. Louis, Rachel, Michelle.
Yeah, those are the only ones.
Tina, Kelly. Where are your eyeballs? Turn them on. Turn them on. It is 6:30 a.m.
Andy does. Okay,
so I do. Serena wants us to show her the money.
So whoever wants to be wealthy. My first question for you is, why do you want to be wealthy?
What are you going to do with your wealth?
It's just like let's say just like having a six-pack. Everybody says they want a six-pack, but not everybody is willing to do whatever it takes to go get there. Having a six-pack and maintaining it and building on top of it for months and years requires work, requires discipline. Financial freedom, giving back.
How do you want to give back?
Yeah, in what sense?
What do you want to do with your wealth? I want to make sure that generations down from me are taken care of, but also taught hard work, also taught how to earn it, also taught responsibility, also taught money management, also taught how to benefit other people with the abundance that you have in whatever way you're passionate about.
Why do you guys want financial freedom too? So, a bunch of you guys
create
said
a happy, healthy lifestyle for my family, great memories and opportunities for my children.
Love that.
Awesome.
Love that. Michelle's clear.
It is. The money, money is opportunity.
But to say financial freedom, like that is very
that's wealth.
esoteric.
That's wealth.
Like why? Why is that important?
To give back to the community, to invest in our children and our future.
Okay.
Financial freedom and wealth are one and the same. You have wealth, then you have financial freedom. Mm-hmm. But why do you want financial freedom? To provide a better life for my children. Awesome. To travel. I want to provide for my kids and family. Awesome. See, a lot of times it comes down to being able to help other people, be it your children, be it your family, be it yourself. It's okay to want to help yourself. It's okay to want to take a sick vacation in the Maldives. It's okay to not want to feel limited. It's okay to want to fly first class. It's okay to want these things, but you have to have a purpose. You have to have a reason.
Mm-hmm. Tina, I love what you're saying.
To avoid worrying about paying bills.
Yeah.
Who wants to worry about paying bills? Anybody in here want to worry about paying their rent? Does anybody in here want to go look for a new place to live and have to stay under a certain budget? Or you're like, it doesn't really matter. I want to live where I want to live. That's freedom. The freedom to choose. The freedom to have opportunities endless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, good. So, to provide for yourself a better life. Awesome. Okay,
well, then what does a better life look like?
Yeah.
So go deep. Keep asking yourself, why that? What does that look like?
What does that look like and why is that important? Okay. So, less stress and be able to make, I like this, to make life a bit easier for my son. Okay.
I grew up poor, long ass line, blue collars.
Oh man.
Long ass line of blue collars that worked themselves to death. I want to be the one to break that trend.
Amen. Yeah. Let's go, baby.
Like, we all work hard, guys. We all work hard. So why do some people have more than others? Now, there are people who are lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. But you're here. You're up in the morning. You're investing your time in this show and probably other things, other podcasts or books. And we all work hard. We go to work. But why is it that some people have a lot more monetary show for the hard work? Like, you guys deserve all of it. But you have to know why. Okay, so this is good.
Okay, so unless you were born as a trust fund baby, wealth is not something that fell on your lap. It's something that you have to create. Okay, so you have to commit to that. First, you have to ask yourself, is this what I want? And if so, why? Why is that important? If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, your ego is going to take over. And when I say your ego is going to take over, I mean when shit gets uncomfortable, when shit gets hard, you're a lot more likely to give up.
Maybe not the ego, but the excuses.
Yeah.
You're more susceptible to giving into the excuse rather than finding a solution. If you have a really big purpose and a really big reason why, then when the adversities come, you don't use an excuse to run away from the adversities. You say, fuck that, here I come, and you go charging in.
Amen.
So you have to find that reason.
Yeah.
Is the reason part one?
No.
Okay.
This is something that we talked about before. So there is 9 parts to this series. We figured we're going to chunk it up because some of the things we've talked about before, Okay, so it could be a reminder, or it could just be like a reminder along with some like action steps. Okay, if you've never heard our financial conversation before, then this is probably the first time you're gonna hear it. But what steps 1 and 2 is, for one, like, you have to get an income. Okay, like, again, unless you are in a trust fund and you already have like a investment portfolio that's worth however much, who knows, you don't have an income. So you have to go create an income. So as far as creating an income, you know, when getting started, what is the, most sensible way to do that? Go get a job. Now, a lot of times what I feel like ends up happening to most people is that they end up falling into the trap of getting an income that they lose sight of the big picture financial goal and the big picture of their entire life. I don't know who said it in the conversation, but you said, I want to stop the cycle of just working myself to death. I truly believe that if you're in alignment with your purpose and what it is that you're doing, you're never working yourself to death, because your work charges you to add value to others, and by default, it helps you to build a better life. But it's challenging at the beginning. Very, very challenging.
So what I understand you're saying is that in order to begin, we all have this understood requirement, if you will, which is still a choice, to get a job when we're old enough. Why? Because you have to make money, and everybody knows that you need money to live. Now, if you want to live a better life, you need more money. And by better, I mean more preferred to you, better quality, safer, healthier. Okay? All of these things require money. If you have less money, you live in a neighborhood that is lower income. In that lower income neighborhood, most of the time, there's more crime. Right? So these kind of things, right, to create a better life for yourself. Everybody knows. So we get a job. And a lot of people, what I'm hearing from you is we get stuck in that job. We get stuck in a thing that is making us money because we're not sure what else to do, or maybe we're afraid to leave that job to go do something that we are really passionate about, because then we don't have the safety of, somebody else taking care of things when shit hits the fan. When you have your own business, when you do your own thing, when shit hits the fan, who does it splatter all over? You got to take responsibility. Now, when you work for somebody else, they take responsibility, and that becomes easier. And I'm not saying that you working for somebody else means that it's going to be easy, but I think that what you're saying is people get stuck in the initial beginning process of making an income because of various reasons. Because it requires time, and it's an average way of thinking. Just because you have one job, you think that, okay, like, I have a paycheck. It's like there's no self-development happening. There's no investing your time and learning more. And taking the time to ask yourself, like, what is it that I really want? And, I'm going to share with you, there's plenty of reasons why I decided to move from New Jersey to California. But one of the biggest reasons is that, you guys, even when I was pursuing my career in the East Coast, in the Northeast, doing what I love, I felt so misaligned because everybody in that area that I lived in legit live to work, in the sense that, for example, Erin and I, we start work at 5:30 in the morning every day, and we don't, by the time we leave the office at 7:30. And I'm not saying this to brag or anything. It's just, we have a mission. Okay, so we're gonna go full force, but we have a purpose, and we're not living to work. For us, work is life, because it's a part of who we are. But so many people have a job that literally takes over their entire life.
There's no boundary set with regards to, you know, their health, taking care of themselves. There's no boundaries set with regards to, you know, marriage, or let's say if they're single, like dating, or, you know, kids. So everything, so you end up, if there's no intention, or if no time is being invested towards, like, what do I want? How am I going to transition out to something that's more in alignment? What ends up happening is that it's like you almost like end up hitting a bottleneck, and then you feel like you're just going through the motions, living life from paycheck to paycheck, stressing about where the money is coming from. But because you're so misaligned, like, you're always stressed out about money, because how you're getting money is not a way that you love to spend your time. So for you, the entire concept of money is just like stressful, because when you think about money, you think about a job that you don't like, a job that takes up time. You don't know how to set boundaries, so it basically sucks the living hell out of you. And you're like, I'm just trying to get by, and I don't know how to transition out of that. Okay.
And you know, in some positions, you don't need to get out of it.
Right.
You, like, well, there was one person, first I want to address, I think, Monica, right? It is scary to leave a guaranteed income and pursue something else. 100%. We were in that position 2.5 years ago. It is very scary. When you know you're getting paid decent amount of money, you know, and you're, you know, it's basically guaranteed, and you're like, okay, well, when I leave this, then what? It's scary. It's terrifying. It's good to have a little bit of a cushion, right? But not everybody also needs to go and become an entrepreneur or a business owner.
Yeah.
That's not for everybody. That's okay.
And something that I will tell each and every one. So step one is getting an income. At least you have an income. So know that that's better than, you know, just like being lazy and chilling in bed and just like, you know, reaping the benefits of being an American and, you know, having the government pay you. Like, at least you're taking ownership. Okay? Now, nobody should ever leave a job that pays them if they don't have something else that will pay them the same amount. And that's why I'm saying transition out of it.
We did.
It depends. So
we did.
From a financial standpoint. So please take all of this with a grain of salt.
But you said nobody should ever. That means like under any circumstances. We did. We did not. We left making zero things. And if you want to do your own thing, and if you want to have your own jam, you don't need to know how to make it all work, but you need to know what you want to do and who you want to help.
Yeah.
And for those of you who do have good paying jobs that you do love, congratulations. That's incredible. You need to have good money management. Because if you have good money management, you can create more wealth by investing in different things, as long as you're educated enough to know how those investing games are played.
So what I mean by that is, so for example, when we left Equinox, yes, I didn't,
we went from
the big vessel
to
was cut, but I did have personal training clients. So like that, none of which is guaranteed anyways, because if a client tells you, okay, next month I'm going to stop training, then
we did have a plan of how to make money.
Exactly. Initially.
In the moment, yes.
Yes. So that's what I mean. Like, if you want to start your own thing, great, but make sure that you have something to fall back on. Because the money is not going to come to you. Okay? So, like, yeah, we took a huge risk. And that's why, like, I know that, like, this is a God-given mission. Because, like, what are the odds? However, had I not had any of my personal training clients confirm with me that they're going to still train with me, I would have sucked it up for a little bit longer.
Yeah, you have to be smart and tact. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Like, you do have to have a plan.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, I'm leaving, and now I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do.
So first it's literally just like, you know, your cardiovascular system. Like in order for your heart to work, blood has to come into the heart. Otherwise it's not going to beat. Does that make sense? So you gotta have one vessel of income working for you. Now, some of you guys asked, you know, like you currently have a job and you feel like, you know, you're just completely misaligned and you're just going through the motions. For one, we totally understand where you're coming from, or maybe even if it is something that you love to do, but you just feel unappreciated, like your work environment just does not align who you are. A book that I recommend that all of you guys should read is called Making a Life, Making a Living. It's amazing. One of my very dear friends and mentors has recommended that book for me, and I was like, wow, that is amazing. So in my opinion, you know, when it comes to getting an income, especially if you want to build wealth, make sure that you're going out of your way to insert yourself in a position where you would add value to the company that you work for, in a way that speaks to you and in a way that has a deeper meaning for you. Okay, so like for example, if you are working at Starbucks, I would hope that you love coffee, right? But let's say if you're all about health and fitness and you're working at McDonald's, well, clearly you're very misaligned. So I would say, you know, like, why don't you, like, you know, go work like at a cleaner, like, burger spot, not trash. Makes sense? So but you want to be tactical with regards to your transition, because if you don't have another vessel or another channel to support you, you have to stick it out for a certain amount of time. And that's why, you guys, how you spend your time is literally the most important thing. Because let's say you have a 9 to 5. To be honest, it's only 8 hours out of your day. Like, maybe spend 2 hours of your day, like even 3 times a week, just investing in a form of education that will help to transition you to the next step. And by the way, when I say a form of education, that doesn't mean you got to go to school. So many people like swear by this, go to college, go to school. Look, you guys, like, I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. I truly believe that in life you don't have to be successful, that in order for you to be successful in life, you don't have to go to college. You definitely have to go to school if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer. But if there is something that you're passionate about, that doesn't mean that you have to go to school. And I feel like we can have an entire episode about that. And there's nothing wrong with school, but you guys, student loans are the number one asset for the US economy. And that's why we're all taught, go to school, go to college, blah, blah, blah. How many of you guys are actually doing something that's related to your degree?
How many of you went to school and don't even have a degree?
Yeah. But you still had to pay student loans for what, like 12 years?
I just finished paying student loans like a couple months ago, which is amazing, by the way.
And when did you stop going to school? How old were you?
I was taking my last classes in like 2000, maybe.
Yeah, to be a nurse, you definitely have to go to school.
I don't even remember. There are definitely professions where you have to have a degree, but a lot of people have degrees and don't use them. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
But are still paying for them.
Yeah.
When, you know, you can also, there's called the School of Google and
the School of YouTube.
And the School of YouTube. And you can learn a lot of things. And the School of Mentorship.
Yeah.
Somebody who's done what you want to do and has been successful at it for a long time.
That is
Go
the
hire
best
that
school.
person. If you think about it, there are really successful business coaches that will charge you maybe like 20 grand a year. People are like, oh my God, 20 grand. Some will be like 50 grand, like really good, right? 50 grand a year.
The best ones, millions of dollars a year.
The best ones, millions, right? But let's look at 50 grand. Let's look at 50 grand for an entire year. Okay, you go to school, you're going to pay close to something like that anyways.
And you're not going to learn the applications. You're only going to learn the theories. And here's the problem with school. Like, for anybody like who majored in finance or economics, like, how many of the professors actually applied what they were doing in their day-to-day life? That is literally like one of the biggest gaps in the educational system. Now, I'm not saying that all professors or doctors are like that. Please know that. But for the most part, they don't practice what they preach. They only know theories. But life, to be successful in life, you have to base it based off of applications. So you can teach business all day long, but if you don't own a business, then what the heck do you know about business? Like, just being honest, okay, maybe you'll know how to balance a balance sheet, but do you know how to go get clients? Do you know how to go close clients? Do you know how to scale a business? That's a completely different beast.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that know it, but they don't care to run it, which is fine too.
Yeah.
They become the COOs.
Right. I mean, you know, they go to Wall Street. If you want to go to Wall Street, then great. You just need to know the right people so that hopefully you can get a badass internship. But that's not the point. So if you want to, so step one is go get an income. And we recommend that if you get an income, then make sure that it is something that you're passionate about, because otherwise you won't want to go out of your way to make it to step two. Step two is increase your income. You'll have to be the best at what you do for either the company that you're working with or whatever it is that you're doing. You're gonna have to go out of your way, which means that you're gonna have to spend more time than anybody else who is in your organization. You're gonna have to do it consistently. You're gonna have to go out of your way to add more value, but you won't want to do it if that is not something that you're passionate about. Or maybe if it is something that you're passionate about, but you're feeling disrespected or that your values are not the same, you'll almost feel like you're robbing yourself. Because you're like, I want to give more, but I'm giving more to somebody who's not even appreciating me. So I feel cheated on myself.
I wrote down some numbers. If you work for 8 hours a day and you sleep for 8 hours a day, which, let's be honest, most people don't. If you spend about 2 hours a day commuting, which could be on the high end for some people, especially during these times. If you spend an hour a day eating, like actually eating. If you spend an hour a day getting ready for the day, I'm trying to think of what other things we do in the day on a daily basis, not a one-off here and there, but that's 20 hours. Okay? It's going to be give or take. If you have kids, there's going to be different. If you don't, it's going to be different. But there's 4 more hours in that day. What are you doing with the other 4 hours? Now, if you add that up times 7, which actually most people don't work 7 days a week. So you can say you have an extra 4 plus 16, 20 hours per week if you only work 5 days a week. Okay, so then 4 times 5 is going to be 20. Plus, you have the other 20. You've got 40 extra hours a week. The fuck you doing with them? Does that make sense? Like, I feel like those numbers are realistic. Of course, like if you're a mom of 17 children, it's going to look a little bit different.
For anybody who feels like they want to transition with regards to how they want to get their income, you guys, your weekends is literally your best asset. However, and this is why it is so important to learn how to take care of you, because if you don't learn how to take care of you, then I guarantee you that you're spending your weekends probably getting drunk or just binge watching Netflix.
If you're what?
If you don't know how to take care of yourself. This is why it is so important to learn how to take care of yourself. Because when you learn how to take care of yourself, you learn how to maximize your time. Investing an hour in your workout, that's totally fine. You learn how to create that hour. However much time you give yourself to do something is the exact amount of time that's going to take you in order for you to do it. Does that make sense? So you got to learn how to take care of you so that you will know how to spend your time more effectively. Good morning, Sarah. So,
hi, Sarah.
So your weekends are a powerful tool. Like, use that to your advancement while the rest of the world is literally sleeping. But most people who just work like a 9-to-5 job, they're like, oh, it's the weekend. It's like literally from 5 p.m. on a Friday till Monday morning at 9 a.m., which is, by the way, almost a third of the week. As a matter of fact, they're literally just like wasting. And they're like, oh, I'm so busy. Nah, dude. For one, the people who have the most on their plate will always make time for what matters. They'll never say I'm too busy because they know the value of time. But most people don't appreciate time.
Are you too busy to create wealth?
And that's why it all starts with your mind. And that's why you gotta be passionate. Because who the heck would want to invest their time, whether it's like learning something new or developing their skills on the weekend,
if they don't like it?
If they don't like it. Why would you want to go in on the weekend and add more value if you don't like what you're doing?
Tammy, we do that. We literally will set timer on certain tasks.
Yeah.
I've got to finish this within this much time.
Yeah.
And you hustle.
Yeah.
You're like, I got a deadline. It's a deadline. Humans need deadlines.
Yeah.
I've got to do this by this date or by this time or before X. And then what happens is magic in your brain. It turns on and you're firing on all synapses and you're like, okay, I got to do the things. You give yourself, okay, so this weekend when you're going to do chores, when you get a meal prep or you're going to do laundry or you're going to do something. Okay, I got X number of time to fold these clothes. Mm-hmm. I bet you're going to hustle a little bit more than la-di-da-di-da-di-da. And you know what? It might seem little, but those things add up. It's efficiency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Investing your time in what matters. And by the end, and by the way, when we asked you guys at the beginning,
hold on. I fold clothes for time. I was just thinking about this.
You do life for time.
I fold clothes for time. I'm like, this shit better not take me more than 5 minutes because I don't want to be doing it. I don't want to be doing it. I'm going to do a good job, but I don't want to be doing it. Anyways, okay, sorry.
So, at the beginning of the episode, we asked you guys, why do you guys want to be wealthy? If you don't know your why, you're never going to pursue it. Just saying. Because you have to take action daily. Weekends is when you get ahead. Evenings is when you get ahead. When the rest of the world is sleeping, watching Netflix, getting drunk, that's when you get ahead. It's not sexy, you guys. It takes discipline. It takes hard work. But, you know, when we asked you guys that question, all of you guys, you all had different responses. But the one thing that you all had in common is because you want to live a better life and you want to provide a better life. And that is why taking the time to do the things that will take care of you, like meal prepping, like working out, like getting your chores done, that's a time investment. You gotta get it done because by the end of the day, it all goes under the umbrella of life. Why do you want to be wealthy? Because you want to live a better life and you want to add more value to others. But if you want to live a better life, then you have to know how to take care of yourself. Because then you're not going to be able to use your time effectively to create that life. And you're going to hit a bottleneck once again. So, you know,
There's a couple of good questions in here.
Oh,
Emily,
yes.
what we do, so what do we do if we don't want to do the job that we're at, but we have to continue to get to a bigger goal? Great. You're working towards a bigger purpose. There's a lot of people in that position. I've got to accomplish this so that I can get to this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's dirty work.
Yep.
And you got to do it.
Yep.
So people who say also, be careful if you find yourself saying, oh, I don't want to do all work and so that I can't live my life. What's the point? There's ebb and flow. There are moments where you live life and maybe you're not, doing the grinding, but there's moments where you got to grind and you just got to say, suck it the fuck up, because this is what I have to do to get to where I want to be. Right? And we find ourselves going through the ebb and flow in this all the time, where we have big projects or multiple things that we've committed to, and we grind and we grind and we grind, and then we have to take a step back and say, now let's breathe, let's live our life, and it's an ebb and flow, and it looks a little bit different for everybody, but there's dirty work, and sometimes you got to do it. There's always time where you have to do it.
Look, for most of your life, you'll have to do the dirty work. Like, even when you love doing what you're doing, like, it's not just going to fall on your lap. You have to earn it.
There's things that we do every day where we're like, I wish I didn't have to do this. But I also know the result that I'm going to get from doing this. So that makes it worth it. Does anybody wake up? I mean, maybe some people do actually, being like, wow, I'm so excited for my muscles to be in agony because I'm about to do this grueling workout. Maybe not so much as the results that you like from doing that, right? So you do the hard work. It's hard. It sucks. It's sweaty. You're breathing hard. You can't breathe. Everything's burning. You just want it to be done. You're like, oh my God, how much longer do I have? And then you finish and you're like, God, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad, because the benefits that you get from it. Now, somebody else said, Karen, what about for the people who work midnights?
What's your schedule?
Well, look, you have the same amount of time.
Yeah.
It's just structured differently. Right? So everybody else is sleeping at night. You're sleeping during the day. That's fine. We all have 24 hours.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just a different structure.
And that is, all of you guys have an equal opportunity, because we all have the same amount of time. Okay? So, step one, get income. If you want to do it the right way, get income in a way where you feel fulfilled. And that sounds cliche, but the feeling of fulfillment is something that, takes, for some people, years of searching. For some people, it's like, you know it, but like, work towards it. Like, do the hard work to get yourself there. Because once you get on that path, you are on the right path. Otherwise, yes, you could still pursue it, but it's going to feel more of a grind. And it's going to lead to maybe some misalignment. Okay? And then increase your income.
Get income, increase your income.
Increase your income. And that's why I'm saying, like, for step one, make sure that it's something that fulfills what you're doing. Because in order for you to increase your income, you're going to have to be the best at what you do.
Or get a side hustle, right?
Yeah.
So there's many ways to increase your income, and my brain doesn't know all of them. But, you can be so invaluable to your workspace.
Invaluable or valuable?
Invaluable means like nobody wants to replace you.
Oh, got it.
Okay. So you could be so important and add so much value to your company or to whoever you work for that you build the confidence to ask for a bigger income. If you are that valuable and you're respected, they most of the time, I feel, would honor it under the right circumstances. Otherwise, you can also get a side hustle. And this is the part where it's like, do the dirty work you don't really maybe feel like doing. Or maybe that side hustle is what you feel like doing, and it's something you're creating on your own. Maybe you love knitting and you want to sell things on Etsy. Maybe like, and then at some point you can turn it into something bigger. But, increasing the income in creative ways.
It's a journey and it's a process, and it's not going to happen overnight.
And most of the time it requires exchanging your time for money.
Yeah.
If you are making a really good income and you're at a net positive every month, saving that money so that you can educate yourself, save money while you educate yourself, and where am I going to put this money so it can make more money, so it can generate more income without me having to do the work or trade my time for that money.
Yeah. So that does it for today. If you want to learn more about, just dig deeper with regards to, doing something that's in alignment with what you love, read the book, Making a Life, Making a Living. And by the way, this wealth creation formula was taken from Cardone U. If you guys don't know this yet, we are Grant Cardone licensees. That being said, we are licensed to teach his stuff. He's honestly the best at what he does, and that's why we chose to partner with him. If anybody wants to check out Cardone U as licensees, we are able to give you 7 days of free access to Cardone U, which is honestly the value of it is millions of dollars. If you apply everything in there. Everything and anything in there. But of course, you'd want to check it out just to see for yourself first. So if anybody has any questions with regards to that, happy to share it with you. Just email admin@erinsarit.com and we can give you some access. And then, if you want to really dive deep into Cardone U after the 7 days, then we can talk about what those next steps look like.
So this is a 9-part series, you said? Part 1 is making an income. Part 2 is increasing the income.
Yep.
Okay, so some of you guys might already be past step 2. That's okay. We're starting from the beginning. So next Wednesday, we will resume part 3 on.
Amen to that. Okay. Last night, I feel like a lot of you who are listening right now, you guys were on the live webinar. You guys should probably know by now that we're crazy. And that being said, we are doing it again today. We will be going live at noon Pacific time, 1 p.m. Mountain time, 2 p.m. Central time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking about the 4 steps on how to achieve and maintain your perfect body. And by the way, if you want to build wealth, it all starts with how you take care of yourself. Your health is your wealth. So just a reminder, what do they need to do to register to today's?
You can check your email. There is a link. It's complicated, so I can't just tell you what it is because it's a lot of numbers and letters and things, and I don't know. But we will post the link on the Facebook group page today for those of you who missed it or couldn't make it for some reason.
Or if you just want to listen to it again and see, hey, maybe we'll do an even better job today. And
you also can check your email. If you didn't see an email from us, we're doing an encore. Check your spam or your trash folders in your email. Maybe it's in there. There is a link in that email to register. You do need to register. Mm-hmm. So if we don't see you this afternoon, then we will see you tomorrow for our Relationship Thursday
conversation.
And that's it. Have an amazing day. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.